Hello, it's HaveAGo here from Lavinia Stamps, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make Arlo the Airborne. I quite fancied making a flying fish, as you do, and I decided that I would use a fair bit of elements, do a bit of blending, and use those masking papers. You know what, there's so much you can do with them. You don't just have to do straight lines or curvy lines, you can just go insane, and I'm going to show you my version of it today. For Arlo the Airborne. Come with me. Okay, so I'm using some A5 multifarious card and some Lavinia masking sheets. And I'm basically placing the masking sheet over the top, drawing round the edge and cutting it out so that it's cut to size. And I'm now going to draw my design on it. And I'm using one of the hill masks to make the waves. So here we go. That's the first one. I've decided to use the other mask. Twice. And finish it with the first mask again, but wanting some peaks for the top waves. And I'm using the smallest mask, moon mask, and now I'm cutting them out. Ready to stick the jigsaw down, and here we go. Taking the backing off and just sticking it onto my A5 sheet of multifarious. There we go. And once you've got everything stuck down, you can decide which bit you're going to start with, and I'm going to start at the top. So here we go. Now I tend to find that whatever colour I use at the top is the sort of colours I'm going to be using at the bottom. I like to see them balance the design. Okay, so I'm using my larger stencil brush and the series 9, and I'm just using some Elements Sundance and bringing the sun to life. And I'm going in with my confetti. So those are going to be my two lovely colours. And if you blend the two together, you do get this lovely orange. And it can be subtle, depending on what you want, or it can be bright and vibrant. But I think I'm going to go with subtle and then maybe put some stronger confetti on the edges or on the bottom when I come to that bit. Let the piece dry before you try and put the sticky tape, masking tape down. Otherwise, you can find it lifts. If it does lift, then what I would say to you is put one of your elements pots onto it so that it'll keep it there. Right, so I'm using the Sundance again. This is going to go on the top of the waves so that it looks like the sun is affecting the water beneath it. And now I've got some Della blue going on there as well. And to blend, really, all I'm doing is moving my stencil brush in circles, which of course you can't really see because I've sped it up so much. I'm trying to put the darker colour at the bottom of the section, and this is the mini leaf creeper stamp, and I'm just basically filling that space with it, and I am using medieval blue and sticking it down because I'm moving on to the next section. Here we go. What am I going to put in this one? Well, I'm going to put graphite. Now this is the Elements again, graphite, because when you look at pictures of sea at night or sea with the sun going down, the sea always looks grey in places. So I fancied putting a bit of graphite down, and then I thought, well, hang on a minute, that sun needs to affect it again. So in comes, can you guess what it is? It is Sundance with a tiny touch of confetti, because the sun is still affecting the water. Okay, now I'm on to the next section. Can you see I've put the acrylic block there? That's just to weight it down. I've started with the Sundance now because at this point I wanted the sun's effect on the water to be larger. So we've got Della blue, a little bit of confetti, and a fair bit of Sundance in the middle. Just love those colours together. And I'm using the text stamp Dream higher than the sky and deeper than the ocean. And I'm just covering it because the masking paper does all the work for me here. Okay, so I've taken the last layer off. And again, the sun is still affecting it. Remember what I said about the top layer and the bottom layer being of similar colours so that it adds this sort of natural balance. That's what I've gone with. So we've got confetti and we've got a fair amount of Sundance. And what am I going to do here? I wonder. So I'm blending the two together. There's a little bit of Della blue on the outside edges because I wanted us to look at the centre of what was going on here. And I'm using the fish, the group of fish, and I'm using it with Charming Pink. Charming Pink, Versafine Clair. And I'm trying to make it look like there's a whole load of fish. So I've also got Cheerful in Versafine Clair. So those fish are being done in two colours. And I'm now using the Leaf Creeper stamp, the smaller and the larger ones, and I'm using them in Medieval Blue again because I like the way that works with yellow and orange, which is really what we're looking at here, the two complementary colours, blue and orange. And peel it off and we're in for the big reveal. So, are we happy with what we're doing here? What comes next? All of these are questions I need to answer. So here's Arlo, and he's going in and he's being stamped in Nocturne, Versafine Clair Nocturne. And because of the patterning on him, you do get the opportunity to add colour. Now I am adding circles and dots to the top, to the crests of the waves, just to bring everything together. Because although there is pattern on these layers, they all need to tie together a bit more, and that comes with these little white dots and circles. And I have used, before anybody asks me, I have used the Signo Uniball Broad for this. I did try doing it with Posca, but I wasn't getting the effect I wanted, so I've gone with the Signo. And I'm just circles and dots mad. Okay, so I'm adding Posca. It's a yellow Posca that I've added water to, and I'm putting it on with a paintbrush. And here we have my old favourite. It's the aqua green Posca pen. It doesn't look like it in the video, but I promise you it is. And it just looks stunning. I'm dotting along the Leaf Creeper, and it just looks like coral or seaweed underneath the sea. You know, it just feels tropical. Here we go. I have got one of the Quickie Glue pens, and I'm going to pop some glitter on this. So I've gone around the outside of the sun, and I'm going to put some Turkish Delight glitter onto it, and I'm also going to dot across the water and the waves so it looks like the sun is affecting it again. Now here I go with the new stickers. Moments like these. Just imagine the joy of Arlo the Airborne as he jumps out of the sea. He's not a dolphin, but he'd like to have a try. I think he's fab. And you know what? Not a bad card for a man, especially if he likes fishing. What do you think? So I'm adding little bits of yellow Posca just to sort of highlight the fact that the sun is hitting the water. It's a little bit of fun. And we're done. You, my friends, you did it. Well, you know what? I am really pleased with how Arlo turned out. I wonder if you've had fun making him too. I love the way that we can create different shapes just using the hill masks. You know, I wouldn't have thought of that, but I just wanted this feeling of movement and of him being propelled up into the light of the sun. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed making this. And I hope you need to know that there is never such a thing as too much glitter. So if you've got any comments to make, please feel free, pop them in the post below and I'll do my best to answer them. You have fun. And remember, inky fingers are really good. Bye.